Welcome ladies and gents, my name is Curci and this is the review for Ori and the Blind Forest. It's hard to put into words exactly why this game is so amazing. Available only on Microsoft platforms, Ori and the Blind Forest is a 2D platformer reminiscent of games like Metroid and Castlevania. The world is of decent size with so many areas to explore and discover new things that will aid you in your journey. The story begins with the Great Storm which carries Ori away from the Spirit Tree and into the loving arms of the creature named Naru. In the years that followed, Naru raises Ori as her own child, and you get glimpses of the life that the two shared in this touching opening. But things go sour when a darkness falls upon the forest, forcing Ori to set out and restore balance. Immediately the game pulls at the heartstrings, letting you get attached to characters without ever having them deliver lines themselves. In fact, the only dialogue of the game comes from the narrating voice of the Spirit Tree and of Ori's companion Sane, who acts as his guide. Through Sane, Ori is able to engage enemies with a basic attack, and by progressing further in the game, more abilities are unlocked. You will gain the ability to double jump, glide, charge up attacks, ground pound, and more. Pretty much all of Ori's abilities have two purposes. Firstly, most of Ori's abilities can be used in combat. Launching off an enemy or projectile will send Ori flying in one direction, but the thing he is launching off of will be thrown in the other direction. This is useful when clearing out obstacles or defeating enemies by throwing their own attacks back at them. But Ori's abilities are also required to reach different areas of the game. You'll glide over thorns, use enemies and other projectiles to launch yourself across an area, and climb walls. The main objectives will take you to a lot of places, but not all. As you explore, you can reveal different sections of the map that just beg to be explored, and you'll find yourself backtracking constantly just to see what lies waiting for you. You will discover secret hidden areas, open doors, gather cells which will increase Ori's overall health and allow him to gather more energy, which is required to create checkpoints and use charged up attacks. The leveling system is also very simplistic. As Ori defeats enemies and gathers experience, he will gain ability points to spend in the ability tree. Here Ori can make his attacks more powerful, reveal collectibles on the map, or get more out of pickups. As you explore and progress in the story, you'll see new areas that are just breathtaking. The art style in this game is something you just can't run past and ignore. You'll find yourself taking in the sight of the Spirit Tree, gazing off at a volcano in the distance. The world of Ori is just a treat for the eyes. Even the music was brilliantly well done. It complemented the different areas of the game, got intense during big moments and slowing down when the story was meant to be meaningful and heartfelt, which it does very often. But there is something about Ori and the Blind Forest that I have not yet mentioned. It isn't a negative at all, but still something people need to know before playing. While this game has a touching story, great mechanics, and beautiful visuals, the puzzles, enemies, and obstacles will kill you. A lot. This game is significantly difficult, with Ori taking a lot of damage from enemies and spikes, which lead to a lot of Ori's deaths. The checkpoint system I felt helped a lot in this game and was also well designed. The game gives you the freedom to place checkpoints where you want at the cost of energy. You'll find yourself dying a lot in a certain area, which causes you to redo a lot of stuff. As a result, you'll tend to get through a portion of it, throw down a checkpoint to make respawning not as punishing. But as I said before, none of these challenges are a negative to the game. Every challenge and puzzle feels doable, and once you finally overcome it, you feel great. But there are also sections in the game that doesn't allow you to place checkpoints. During these escape sequences, Ori will need to move fast to avoid rising waters, falling debris, or flowing lava. These sequences aren't exactly long, but you're going to die frequently as you learn to navigate these areas. Can this game get frustrating at times? Sure, but it was never so frustrating that I wanted to quit the game. It actually fueled me to keep trying, and eventually I overcame the challenge. At the end of my time with the game, I had spent about 10 hours playing and died just shy of 600 times. But after beating the game, I didn't feel relieved that it was over. I wanted to immediately play more. So I started a new save file and went right back into it, determined to explore all the areas I had missed before. Ori and the Blind Forest is an amazing game with a gorgeous world and one of the better music tracks I've heard in a game. It has great and rewarding exploration made even better by responsive controls and great mechanics that add to the platforming. The story is a touching and inspiring tale with fleshed out characters that develop and you learn to care for. It will have happy moments, it will make you want to cry, it's beautiful. And it's also challenging, but in a very good way. At the end of this year, when people start talking about the best games that were released, they'll need to bring up Ori and the Blind Forest. It is truly a masterpiece. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.